you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well, and I hope you're also excited to get this episode underway because it's finally time to start our Serie A campaign in this second season of the Udinese FC25 career mode. If you were with us in the last episode, you will have seen it was a bit of a transfer special. We were trying to do some wheeling and dealing. That's going to continue for this episode, maybe the next couple of episodes, because we are by no means done in this transfer window. However, it's particularly exciting today because we actually get to play some games. Just want to give a quick shout out though to Tom Didsbury, or Tom Didsbury Music as he is on YouTube, because he sent a couple of things my way, a couple of goodies. Apparently there's something else in the post as well, which is mildly concerning. So first of all, we've got this little Roberto Muzzi Udinese Corinthians figure. This looks like it's been in the box since 2003. I don't want to take it out of the box. However, he is going to stay on my desk, and we will refer to him. If we ever need some guidance, Roberto Muzzi is definitely going to be our man to ask. The other thing that Tom got me is this nice little garm. I've got an Udinese branded bobble hat. Now, I've got quite a big head, and the issue with this is that when I wear hats like this, I look a bit like a medieval peasant. It's probably not my best look. However, it's very warm. So I think when we get into like November, December, January this season, the hat's going to have to be worn for warmth, isn't it? It makes sense. But yeah, it's great to finally have some Udinese memorabilia. So yeah, massive thanks to Tom for that. Far too kind. And yeah, both of these things will definitely be making an appearance this season. Right, let's jump back into the shoes of Tomasso Ricci. As you can see, we have one day to go until that home season opener against Atalanta. We probably could have hoped for an easier game to start off the season. Let's have a look at the 3 games we'll have in this episode. Obviously, home to Atalanta to begin with. Then we've got away against Fiorentina and home against Lazio. That's hideous. That's a horrible way to start the season. It's a baptism of fire for the one new signing that we have so far, which is Quentin Merlin. I can't believe in the last episode I didn't say something along the lines of, I hope he's got a wand for a left foot. But I hope he's got a wand for a left foot. Quentin Merlin, the new signing, the left back, rated 78. He looks superb. And importantly, it means that Iglesias can play at right back now. But no more signings, and there is a reason for that. We're just trying to gather some more funds together. So we've got quite a few players for sale, or that are on the transfer list. I might need to bring some youth players into the squad just to pump up these numbers because we're looking pretty threadbare at the moment. But we want to get funds so we can launch a bid for Chiesa. Yeah, Mandela Chiesa here, this centre defensive midfielder from Parma. He's age 23, 5'11". His stats just look amazing, but his market value is 15.5 million. That's achievable, I think, with a couple of sales. I think our budget at the moment is just below that 13 million. So with one transfer out, we could hopefully get our man. If not, then Arthur is still an option. But we will come back to that in a game or so's time when maybe we've got some bids in for some of the players on the transfer list. 6 PM in Udine, the fans are out in force, and it is the dawn of a brand new Serie A season. We did well last season. Towards the end of last season particularly, we started to string some wins together, started scoring more goals. We looked a lot more cohesive as a team. I'm just hoping we can carry that forward into this season. If we do, I don't think there are many teams that can stop us. I think we should be well up there in those European places. And we better hope that we are, because that is one of the requirements from the board this season, is to finish in a European place. Now, because it is the first game of the season, I'm going to try and do something that we haven't done before on this channel, and that's to play the entire game for you and show it on the video. The reason I normally edit is because I will often say something stupid or stumble over words, or, sometimes the game's just not that interesting. But first game of the season, it's important. Let's give it a go. We'll see what happens. And if this match has been edited, you know why. But I'm excited to get us underway here. We've got the team you'd probably expect. The same starting 11 as last season, but the change would be Ezebue, who has since moved on, the right back, being replaced by Iglesias at right back, and now we have Merlin at left back. Atalanta were a difficult team to play against last season, so it'd be interesting to see how we get on against them. We've immediately given a handball away early on in this game. And yeah, one of the big things for us last season was just maintaining concentration, especially against the bigger teams in defence. So easy sometimes to switch off and then, you know, a couple of passes in and around the box and they be in and hammer it past the keeper. For now, the keeper still is Okoye. We obviously, if you were with us in the last episode, will have seen that we had some bids for him. And we actually accepted some of them, but he just couldn't agree on terms. I'm not sure if he couldn't agree on terms, if that's the game telling us that we need more players in the squad, because the squad is looking pretty threadbare and we don't have any reserves. So it'd be interesting to see, now that we've promoted 3 youth players who I doubt will be playing for us, if that issue is resolved. It's Di Cattoleri, one of our arch nemesis, early on the right wing for Atalanta, but we clear it well. I think that was been Iglesias down there, and onto Toro. Not the speediest boy we've got, and as we tried to check back with him, we did lose out to Giovanni, who's released Di Cattoleri, and then I forgot they have Richarlison, and miscontrolled the defenders there and left a bit of room for him to run into. Thankfully, his shot isn't very dangerous, and Iglesias will take it away now. Try and get it quickly up the pitch to Diakite. We had so much success last season. Referee, there's been a murder. We had so much success last season when we started moving the ball quicker, getting it up to the strikers quicker, especially like into Sanchez, who could then release Diakite. And sometimes it's been a red card for Pasalic. I didn't think it was that bad a tackle. Yeah, sometimes the other way around. With Diakite releasing Sanchez, just because his quick feet, is quite mobile, is good with the ball, close control. Iglesias with a chance to put it in towards Sanchez, who, you know, is quite diminutive, probably not going to get there. Samadic tries to get there. I can't believe we've got that one-man advantage so early on. And we'll have to try and make the most of that as the game progresses. And here's the new man, Merlin, number 3. He looks very well-rounded if you look at his stats as Merlin. And I think crossing was one of his main attributes, one of the main reasons I wanted to get him into the team, to be honest, because we don't often have crosses of high quality coming in, which is always a shame, especially when we've got Luca on the pitch. Obviously, he's on the bench at the moment. And thankfully, Atalanta decided to play a terrible pass there, because I was preoccupied with having a drink of water. But Soriano, the breakthrough star, arguably, of last season, making inroads upfield now. Being forced out wide, but that's okay. We'll try and find Sanchez again. Again, it's difficult to find Sanchez when we cross the ball into the box. But Cesar Huerta here, put it out wide to Soriano, and maybe we go along the ground this time. In fact, try to pull it back to Sanchez. Good pressing from Soriano. Go all the way, Soriano. That's right at Kaneshi's stomach. He just palmed it into the floor before collecting. Good defending, though, from Sole, I think it was. Excuse me. Do have a bit of cough at the moment. Sanchez into Diakite, and that's a brilliant slid clearance. Torre comes back at them. He can get it through to Soriano. Soriano's through, and it's just over the bar. Oh, dear. Oh. But so far, so good. I mean, it's always easy when you play against 10 men, isn't it? And just over half an hour gone in this game. Atalanta haven't really been able to forge any opportunities of their own. Golovin to Giovanni. We need to be careful, though, with Richarlison, because obviously he is a quality forward. But mind you, so is Umar Diakite. And he's trying to show that now with his pace. He's taking the long way around Toloi and eventually is dispossessed. And Golovin to Giovanni again. They seem to be working mainly down this left-hand side, and with someone like Di Cattoleri on the left-hand side, I can't blame them. He's a player who I'd actually love to be able to bring to Udinese. I haven't looked into it. I don't know how much he would cost. There's that old saying, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, in this case, when we can't beat them, we'll try and make them join us. Good save by Okoye, out for the corner. Some man behind him looking far too chilled. And yeah, it's a strong save with his left hand. Okoye came up with some big saves last season, and so if he does leave, it will be a shame, I think. However, I don't think he's necessarily anything special. And looking at the transfer market, it did seem like there were plenty of goalkeepers that we could probably get for less than he's worth, who are probably just as good. But we need to be careful here. Okoye's trying to prove a point of sorts, you feel, as Golovin gets ready to take another corner for Atalanta. Iglesias cuts out the short corner though. And can he get up the pitch? We've got Diakite making a run inside. We've got Sanchez who's... oh, and Iglesias in the end. It might have been handball actually, which is a little bit harsh on the Atalanta defender, although we would have got the throw in anyway, so it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. As Iglesias now on his preferred right side gets the cross in towards Diakite. I think it's a bad ball, that. Diakite wins it back though, and he'll shoot first time. In the days of old, I think that might have been a penalty. I think it hit the defender's hand. Obviously, those are handballs are turned off in the box now, and half time 0-0. Cesar Huerta, 0 attempts, 0 goals. Well, you think one would probably follow the other in that case. But that does paint a picture of this game so far, really, because not much has happened. Maybe I've just been too distracted trying to yap away without making a fool of myself, when I've normally got the safety net of being able to delete anything that I don't want on the video. Here's Merlin to Sanchez. Can we put it over the top to Diakite? I don't think that ball was ever on, but Sanchez might have it back here. It does get onto his left hand. That's bizarre defending. It's like John Terry-esque forward dive to get his head on the ball. This time, unlike John Terry's clearance, I don't think this one was particularly necessary. And Di Cataleri here, who seems to move flanks, wins the free kick against Samazic. And Anton Griezmann then? I don't know, he said he's obviously gone from Atletico Madrid. Surely he hasn't gone to Atalanta, has he? He's not on the pitch if he has done. That's the last thing we need, as Samazic does well to depossess Di Cataleri, with Merlin making headway now. We've got Diakite just inside. We like playing that kind of pass the diagonal, and we've got an overload here with Merlin, the new man. Can he find Sanchez in the middle of the box? Alexis Sanchez puts Udinese 1-0 up in the season opener. It's the first real chance we've had for a shot on goal that hasn't looked like it was going to be blocked. They celebrate on the bench, they celebrate in the stands. And it's the new man Merlin on his debut gets an assist. Presence of mind to tap it across the box to Alexis Sanchez, and we've seen him do that countless times in this save and in his career. Finish well past the keeper, and that could be a big tone-setting goal for this match and maybe this season. Fingers crossed. 54 minutes gone. Udinese 1-0. And Zafiris, number 20. I don't recognise him. He's back to Giovanni to Golovin. I think he's a left back who tries to play through to Richarlison, back to Golovin. And we need to be careful here because Golovin's shooting from outside the box, tipped over for another Atalanta corner. I think this might be their third or fourth. Bellanova is going to come on for Oliveri. And it'll be Golovin to take the short corner. But again, we managed to intercept one of their short corners, and this time Merlin has got loads of room to run into. We'll just keep going with Merlin because I think he's got a decent amount of pace, and we've got plenty of men in the box, although they are getting men back. Can we go to the back post for Diakite? Diakite on the volley! What a finish that is! What a finish that is, Diakite. It's the second assist of the game for Quentin Merlin on his debut. Diakite, so often... He scored a lot of goals, but we've also had quite a lot of chances last season where he was in a good position and would find himself blazing it over the bar or putting it wide or making an easy save for the keeper. That time, hits it first time on the volley, and the goalkeeper's done for sheer pace there. Brilliant contact, kept his eyes on the ball. 2-0. And this is a bright new dawn indeed for Udinese, it feels like. Still want to bring a couple of signings in, but if we keep going like this, we'll have no problem. We need to be careful with Richarlison here, who twists and shoots, and Okoye gathers comfortably. It's this man Merlin, what a debut he's had. Toro, it's a poor pass from him, isn't it? Come on, mate, you can do better than that. And Di Cattalero will try and break. As long as he's on the pitch, Atalanta are dangerous because he's always been a thorn in our side when we've played against him. Always struggled to contain him. He's always been a little bit tricky. He's always found a good pass. And Iglesias there comes in with a good tackle, but leaves room for Golovin to exploit. He'll check back there. I don't think it necessarily wants to cross to Richarlison. He might do it now, though. He crosses towards the back post. And number 16... I don't know his name. Who's that? I mean, it's a fantastic goal, isn't it? I mean, we're so busy thinking, oh, he's not going to cross it to Richarlison, that we completely forgot the back post. Merlin there has undone some of his good work from earlier by Bellanova. Bellanova must nearly have been offside, but I think he timed his run well. Okoye, his momentum was sending him one way across the goal, and Bellanova's header down couldn't be stopped. And that's exactly what we're talking about. They're always going to be dangerous. And fingers crossed we can hold on to this, because it would be a shame. I think there would be some question marks over the amount of progress we've made if we start the season by surrendering a 2-0 lead at home. Again, that was Toro with a less than stellar pass. And Richarlison, chased by Solé, who tries to get back, and that's Di Cattalero. Oh, and Di Cattalero again, maybe to Richarlison, who tries to send a ball through, and we take a risk by threading it out of defence rather than hammering it up the field. But it served as well with Diakite now advancing. We don't need to do anything rash though. And with that in mind, Diakite will just take it back calmly to Toro, who's got Iglesias outside of him. Iglesias against Toloi, and Sanchez isn't quite going to get there. I am wondering if in these closing stages we should bring Luca on. In fact, I'm going to try and make that happen now. Who knows if the substitution will actually happen though, because let's bring Piero on for Samasic. Because obviously there's only 10 minutes left and the ball might not get out of play on FC. And let's see if we can hold out the final 8 minutes of regulation time. I'm sure there will be stoppage time. And here's Samasic. Go on, have a go, Sammy. Good save, but Diakite will get onto the end of the rebound. Go back to Toro, power in with him. And the ball's rattled around some defender in between Diakite there. I think it will be a free kick to Atalanta, which means that substitution can be made. Samasic off for Piero, Sanchez off for Luca. 4 minutes remaining of regulation time. And it's Piero making an immediate impact there. He might have handled it inadvertently, but it all eats up clock, doesn't it? And we'll keep trying to press them here with Diakite putting pressure on the keeper. He's forced to go long, and we couldn't get to that, and it means that Richarlison is now in our final, is in our third of the pitch. Wide to the goal scorer Bellanova, who's tricky. He's got a bit of pace. He tries a wild left-footed cross there. Okoye gathers safely. 3 minutes of added time. We've got 1.5 minutes to play of that 3 minutes. We'll just try and take the sting out of the game. Don't need to do anything too rash, he says, giving possession away to Darun. But there goes the final whistle, and 2-1 to Udinese. First day of the season. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a big surprise, and we saw it multiple times last season that we can mix it with the best teams in this league. But it's really good to get off to that winning start. However, we do know we've got tricky games coming up. Fiorentina away and then Lazio at home, who are imperious. So fingers crossed we can keep it going, but that's a really good start. Back into the manager's office then. You can see we've received an offer here for Samasic following that Atalanta game. Napoli want to give us 17.5 million. There's absolutely no way in my mind that we could let go of Samasic. He's only 23, he's rated 78. He's a rare left-footed centre midfielder, so absolutely no way is that going to happen. We will just advance here to see if we get any more offers for players and try and raise those funds to get in Keita. We've got another offer for Okoye, this time from Brighton. And they're offering 14. Let's try and push them to 15 and see if we can get a deal done there. It's always nice to be in Tomasso Ricci's glass-walled, deeply, heavily leathered and mahoganied office. So, propose new transfer. Should we say 15? Let's try 16 first of all. I don't think that will annoy them too much. We can't go higher than 14. Can you go to 15 then? 15 it is. We previously accepted a bid for Okoye for 15. So I feel like that's fair enough. And with that 15 added to our existing 13, we'd definitely have enough to get a replacement goalkeeper and also hopefully to bring in Mandela Keita. We've also received an offer for the youngster Simone Profundi. Genoa want to give us, I mean, apparently we can get closer to 3 million. Let's again negotiate this one. We'll say 3.2, and I think they'll probably meet us somewhere in the middle. 325, there we go. Patrick Vieira. And they want to give us a 1% sell-on clause. I mean, 1% of that current transfer fee would be 27,000, wouldn't it? So that's, I mean, that's stupid. We're not going to accept that. Let's just go for a straight 3 million then. What do you think about that, Paddy? That's as much as they're willing to pay. If we're getting another centre midfielder in, I'm happy to let him go because Soriano can play centre attacking midfield as a backup there for Huerta. So yeah, it can go. It can go, and it's every little bit, you know, every little bit counts, doesn't it? And it looks like we do have a player leaving. Is that Okoye out the building? I think it is. I think it is. He's been a great servant to Tomasso Ricci's Udinese team. But that 15 million is just too difficult to say no to. And that means we have time to get a couple of deals done before this next game against Fiorentina. I mean, he's a big lad, isn't he? He's done well to find a suit that fits him. But he's out the door now. And Tomasso Ricci is off to conduct some well-needed, very important business. Right, Mandela Keita, let's try and get our man then. Says their asking price is just over 24 million. We might have a chance with a bid around 19.5. I think we'll start off with a bid at 20 and go from there. There's quite a big discrepancy between those two figures. And the last thing we want to do is annoy them off the bat and ruin our chances of making this deal. We've now got a budget of 25 million. We've potentially got a couple of more players going out. Obviously, Profundi. We've also accepted a bid for Modesto. So we've got another 5 million coming in. But obviously, every little that we don't spend here, we can spend on a goalkeeper. So, off the transfer fee, let's go for, what would I say, 20 million. What do you think? They want 23.3 and 10% of any future deal. 21.5? The tension rating in the top right corner is only low at the moment, so... And that's a reasonable offer. 21.5 million. I'm happy with that. For a player that's young, that has his qualities, a real engine in the middle of midfield. We've sometimes suffered with Toro's lack of pace. And there's no reason those two players can't play together as well. But, I mean, Arthur was our other target, wasn't he? Is rated the same, but he's 6 years older. And he's not quite as well rounded, I don't think. Obviously, Keita's passing isn't incredible. His dribbling and his physical stats are fantastic, as well as his pace. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. We can try and develop his passing as well. I think that's a good deal. It's definitely one for the future as well. I'm happy with that. Of course, the deal isn't sealed yet. We've had to go to Betty's tea rooms, of course, and try and sort out Mandela Keita's contract. He is going to be a crucial player. His current wage is 28,000. We've got a weekly budget remaining of 73. So if we give him 40,000 or so, I think that works out well. A 5-year contract, I'm happy with that, and no release clause. This is the sketchy bit as always, isn't it? But 40,000, let's try that. And he's very happy with that. So is his agent. Tomasso Ricci is smiling with his designer frames on. Quick handshake for the agent, and Mandela, son, we will see you at training. And another exit at the Blue Energy Stadium. Pafundi, the youngster, is off on his way. Was it Genoa he was going to? It was bright in parts, but was never going to be a key part of this squad. So happy to see him off for 2.75 million. And yeah, he's added to the budget for a goalkeeper. A great price, B rating for that, and I think that's a good bit of business. We apparently could have made 350,000 more, but I don't think. Yeah, we're not going to lose any sleep over that, are we? Second game of the season then, and it's a debut for our new number 33, Mandela Keita. No time yet to bring in a new goalkeeper, and there's going to be absolutely no mistaking these two teams. We are in our all yellow strip. Fiorentina, their all purple strip. You could see which team is which from a mile away. Let's carry on the good form. It'd be interesting to see how Keita does get on. Toro will be on the bench. Maybe in future we'll look at ways and formations against some of the better teams, maybe that we can find a way of playing both defensive midfielders in one go. But if we're anything like the first game, we've got a good chance today. Iglesias here into Huerta. We know he's got pace. He'll release Samasic, who's got to have a shot from a long way out. It's just the keeper was never really too fussed about that, but it's can't have been terribly far away from the right-hand post. And Fiorentina looking good so far with Moise Kean shooting from outside the box, and it's a good save from the goalkeeper. I think it's is it Savi? Getting an unlikely start today. Rubino to Moise Kean, and back to Rubino, and it's well wide. There's the new man Keita. Tries to play 1-2 with Huerta, but can't quite get to it, and Moise Kean has his pass cut out by Sole. Here's Diakite with an overlap from Soriano, and Soriano through. We'll have a shot with him, and it was always rising, always going over. It's Moise Kean here. Moise Kean, ooh, very close. Kept his shot low and hard. And with a bit more curl and whip on it, I think it could have found its way into the far corner. As it was, it didn't bother Sava, who will take the goal kick. Still 0-0 in this game. Fiorentina possibly the better team. And Huerta to Soriano here as we try and break forward. Soriano's got Diakite making a run. It's Diakite. Manages to get a shot off at the last minute. Well saved by the keeper. And both sides having spells here. Neither one able to capitalise. It's Keita here. So a surging run from him. Who will pass back to Diakite. Diakite, first time shot. Good save by Christensen down low to his left. This is a great game. Soriano. Try and put it through to Diakite. They have to check back on it and get to Huerta, who'll shoot on his right foot. Another diving save from Christensen. That must be at half time now. Just waiting for the referee to blow up. She does blow up. And both teams with opportunities here. Both teams in parts playing well. In parts playing not too great, to be honest. It's been a mixed bag from both outfits. But at the break, it is Fiorentina 0, Udinese 0. We wouldn't turn our noses up at a draw away from home against a team like Fiorentina on the second game of the season at all. But we also have had opportunities to win it. But Moise Kean, in particular, looking dangerous for Fiorentina. Now Sanchez tries to release Diakite. There is one defender trying to mark him. Diakite shoots and it is blocked by the defender. We've got a corner. We'll aim for the captain's head. I think we get towards Iglesias again. Sanchez here, who's onto his left foot, and he tries from an acute angle to take on the goalkeeper. But his left-footed shot is a bit wayward. Good ball from Huerta to release Diakite. He'll try and put it across. His effort's blocked, but he gets the ball back. And Samasic out to Keita, the new man, on his debut. He was heading towards the top corner, I think. Good tackle by Keita there. Manages to poke a tone and win the ball back. And give us momentum moving forward. Alexis Sanchez making a cute run inside. And it's Ranieri who'll clear it for Fiorentina. Cesar Huerta's got the ball. He's going to keep on going. Little Cesar Huerta. And I think he's purposely missed that shot horrendously because I called him Little Cesar Huerta. Making 2 changes, Piero comes on for Samasic and Luca makes his first appearance of the season, coming on for Diakite. Maybe we'll get some more crosses into the box now Luca's on. Try and make the most of Merlin's ability from the left-hand side to pick out a man in the middle. Of course, it's never really been an issue picking out Luca. It's always Luca's had an issue doing anything with the ball. Luca making a run for Sanchez, who tries to play the pass over. Is Luca onside? I think he is just onside. We'll go back to Cesar Huerta, who's got plenty of room to drive a wonderful left-footed shot past Christensen. You felt like one team was going to score in this game. I'm actually surprised it's us. It felt like for a long time like one of those games where we'd keep pushing and pushing before eventually conceding a sloppy goal at the back. But Cesar Huerta there, little Cesar Huerta, big Cesar Huerta, scores with a lovely shot from just outside the box. 1-0 Udinese. And we'll be doing everything we can to hold on to this lead now. And Moise Kean might be through here. It's a mistake from Biol. And Moise Kean's chipped finish is an absolute delight. It's a lovely, lovely finish from Moise Kean. You know he's got the quality. It was a nice little ball over him. Biol maybe could have done better. He lost ground after trying to clear the ball and failing to do so. And Sava was a long way off his goal line. Moise Kean there, just on the edge of the box. A little clipped finish, gets his the tips of his toes underneath the ball to send it skywards and then dipping back down sharply into the empty net. And we're back level. Oh, Piero, that's lovely. That's lovely until it was lovely until the pass, which is that were diabolical. And now we need to be careful that we don't concede another one. Moise Kean looking dangerous as Beltran is released and Moise Kean has space to run into, and he's released a Coney there who does shoot past Sava, and we've let it slip right at the last here. Fiorentina with a bit of added momentum following Moise Kean's chipped goal have moved the ball quickly there. It's Moise Kean, the architect again. This time Coney applying the finish into the top corner. Not much Sava could have done about it. 2-1. And we've got all of 4 minutes of regulation time left to try and get an equaliser. To Merlin. And since bringing Luca on, we haven't had a chance to get Merlin to cross it in. But he's going to do so here. It finds Luca. It will try and head back down to Soriano. He's got space. It's Soriano right at the death for Udinese. Soriano's effort is saved. Christensen down well. Maybe we'll get one more chance with Merlin, but his header is wayward, and Kyodu will get there before Piero. Now onto Ikone. He's got Moise Kean trying his best to seal the game for Fiorentina. Sole can't catch it. It's Beltran who shoots, and then Moise Kean might get the rebound. Sava well off his goal line. It's a free kick anyway, but I think we might have run out of time. We do run out of time. Fiorentina win 2-1. That is... We've only got ourselves to blame, really. We lost concentration. It was a good equaliser from them, but after that, we crumbled a little bit. Moise Kean, the difference maker in this game. And well done to Fiorentina. And that just proves we've made massive strides forward as a club. but you can never rest on your laurels. Jonathan Oconee, 2 attempts, 1 goal. His 1 goal enough to win the game for Fiorentina. And we've got a tricky game coming up next against Lazio. Right, time for the third and final game of this episode at home to Lazio. Not an easy game, especially after that 2-1 defeat away at Fiorentina. We've had to make some changes to the team. Soriano a little bit tired, and we're making use of the fact we've now got 2 really good central defensive midfielders. Keita pushing out to a little bit wider to Soriano's position, with Toro coming back into the squad in centre defensive midfield. And up front, Sanchez, who is a little bit fatigued, has been replaced by Luca. Rodriguez here for Lazio, looking dangerous, slipping through Castellanos. And Castellanos will win the corner for Lazio. Here's Isaacson to Castellanos. And Castellanos into Alvarez. And Sava. Oh dear. Sava is... We need to get a new goalkeeper, and that'll be the job for transfer deadline day. We'll just wait to see which keeper it's going to be, because it obviously depends on the funds that are available. And if we can sell another player before then, we don't want to rush into anything and get a goalkeeper who's worse than what we might be able to get otherwise. But that is appalling from Sava. He was already diving by the time the shot was taken, right down the middle. Tomasso Ricci is furious. Alexis Sanchez on the bench puts his hands to his cheeks as if to say, oh me, oh my. As well he might. Hugo Alvarez puts Lazio ahead after 11 minutes. Isaacson here to rejoggers. And Castellanos. 2-0 to Lazio. And we just haven't been at the races today. It's such a simple goal. Castellanos has looked dangerous in parts. And he was left in way too much room then. I think it might have been Isaacson with the pass through. 90 minutes gone 2-0. And this is not looking good, I'll be honest. And Rodriguez might be through again here. Can he make it 3? He does make it 3. Well. Wellity. This could be an absolute drubbing here. We just haven't turned up at all. And Keita could be thinking, what have I done by coming to this team? But he's made another pass through to Diakite, who just didn't have a chance to get the shot off. Merlin, and we're looking for something before half-time. Can he magic something up? I'm going to make as many jokes about that as I can. Diakite is offside again, of course he is. And Castellanos possibly through. A lovely little back heel to Isaacson. I thought it was offside. It's not, it's a 4th. It's a 4th, and we are being taken apart, dismantled for parts at the hands of Lazio, who have been ruthless in attack. They've always been able to find that extra pass, that little touch to release the player when they needed it, and the finishing has been good, apart from their first goal, where our goalkeeper looked like he'd never seen a football before and was afraid it might give him a disease. It's not a good half at all for Udinese, and what a way this is to start the season. It looked so promising in that first game against Atalanta, and now half-time then, Lazio 4, Udinese 0. We are pants. We look awful today, and I don't know why. Luca, well, from nowhere, basically from kick-off in the second half, we have, I would say, a way back into the game. We're still 3 goals behind, but we played a bit more directly. Luca manages to find some space in the box, takes one touch, and then a nice little finish to give us 1 goal, restore a little bit of pride. It was Samazic with good work. Luca made a good run, 1 touch from Luca, and then yeah, the keeper wasn't going to do too much with that. 4-1. This would be an amazing comeback. It would be an amazing comeback. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It would be. It would be if it happened, but it probably won't happen, will it? So Toro to Diakite. Try a cute pass into Luca, who's onto his left foot. Huerta on the follow-up, who does trouble the goalkeeper, and we get a corner late on. And plenty of empty seats now at the Blue Energy Stadium. They've seen enough. They've gone to the pub. Maybe they'll catch the final 10 minutes on the TV. But it hasn't been a day to remember for Udinese at all. With Lazio just dominant all over the pitch in every area. There was a brief period after half-time where for about 2 minutes it looked like we might be threatening to think about coming back into the game, but hasn't really materialised. Luka's goal, nothing but a consolation, it looks like, as Samasic will take it up the field. He's possibly been our best player. Keita hasn't been bad. He's lost possession a few times, but he's had a few kind of forward runs where he's at least tried to do something. And here's with Toro now to Keita, who will pass to Diakite. Diakite's reverse pass not quite coming off, but Keita now to Diakite again. Diakite onto his left foot, and it's blocked again. And Lazio have just been everywhere, not giving us a sniff, really. Well, we kept Lazio at bay in that second half. However, couldn't overturn the 4-goal deficit that we went into half-time with. You can see why they're a class team, and I'm still optimistic about this season, but there are clearly levels to Serie A, and we're not quite at the top yet, but we'll keep pushing, and we'll go for some more points to add to the 3 that we got against Atalanta in the first game of the season in the next episode. Hopefully doing some business on transfer deadline day. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been so good to get back into this save, get back into the Tomasso Ricci Udinese universe, and start this second season. Big things are going to happen. We just need to be patient, I'm sure of it. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you soon.